this is probably going to be more of a rant than I usually do because this movie pissed me off in ways I didn't even expect. Now, I'm not a big Black Panther fan. Okay, first one, I can't even say that anymore because here's one of the overarching problems. It used to be, if you said Black Panther, that was synonymous with T'Challa. It was synonymous. Now it doesn't work that way. Now it doesn't work that way because now it's Black Panther and T'Challa. They're now two separate entities. So you cannot, because of I am not a big T'Challa fanboy. I like the character, but I am nowhere near as much as a fanboy as other people, as a lot of you are. And this movie should thank its lucky stars that I am not a huge T'Challa fanboy. Because just me liking the character, I was pissed. I can't imagine how absolutely livid I would have been if I was an actual T'Challa fanboy. And I can't imagine how upset and pissed the actual T'Challa fanboys are going to be from this movie. Because, okay, the Black Panther, there's so many different ways I want to start this, so I'm probably going to be a little scattered. I apologize. The Black Panther isn't a suit. The Black Panther is the person in the suit. So the reason I like the Black Panther is because I like the person who's in the suit. Same thing with Captain America. I like Steve Rogers, hence I like Captain America. I like Clint Barton, hence why I like Hawkeye. You put somebody, you give the mantle of Hawkeye to some, spoiled little bitch of a chick. I'm not going to suddenly like Hawkeye because she's wearing the same outfit and got the same name. I don't like Shuri. When I found, before the movie started, it was established and it was assumed that Shuri was going to be wearing the Black Panther suit. Now, now again, not that Shuri was going to be the Black Panther. Shuri was going to just wear the Black Panther suit. It never occurred to me that they would actually make Shuri the Black Panther. Okay, there's just so much stupid. I'm going to be all over the place. Oh, but wait. Shuri was Black Panther in the comic book, so it's comic book accurate. Okay, I have to address this comic book accuracy bullshit excuse because this is a rant all on its own. Okay, so let me see if I get this straight. Because Shuri is now the Black Panther in the MCU, it's comic book accurate because in the comic books, Shuri was the Black Panther temporarily. Okay, how does that work? In Wakanda Forever, in the MCU, Shuri is now the Black Panther. But in the comics, Shuri was only the Black Panther temporarily. How is this comic book accurate? Oh wait, it's not. You see you bullshit artists using this comic book accuracy weak ass excuse. What you've done is you've taken a certain part. You've taken just part of what's comic book accurate and used it to justify what happened in the movie. See, but this is what kills me. What do you care? You don't care if anything that happens in an MCU movie is comic book accurate or not. You don't. It's irrelevant to you. Let's say in the comic books, let's say Shuri was never Black Panther in the comic books. And somebody who's a Black Panther fan sees Wakanda Forever and go, why is Shuri the Black Panther? She was never the Black Panther in the comic books. You want to know what you comic book accuracy bullshit excuse users would have said? You would have gone, well, so what? That's the comics. This is the MCU movie. It doesn't always have to be comic book accurate. So whether something is comic book accurate or not means shit to you anyway. You know how I know? Because there are dozens of examples of which the MCU not only wasn't comic book accurate, but shit on the comic book accuracy. And when I pointed it out, you want to know what all of your excuses were? Well, that's the comics. This is the movie. They don't have to be comic book accurate. They can do their own thing. Hence, you don't give a damn whether anything in the MCU is comic book accurate or not. So whenever you say, oh, it's okay because it's comic book accurate, shove it up your ass because it doesn't mean anything to you. MCU being comic book accurate for whatever portion of the movie doesn't mean anything to you. So stop using it as some weak ass justification because it doesn't matter to you anyway. The other reason that I thought it was incredibly stupid for this movie to actually focus on having Shuri be the Black Panther is because you're gonna the recast T'Challa fan base is already pissed off as it is. You wanna know how else I know that it's bullshit stupid? Because Disney didn't in any way try to promote or advertise that the main story of this movie was Shuri becoming the Black Panther. Well, why would they hide that? That's the basic premise of the story. The basic premise of the story is Shuri becoming the Black Panther. Well, why wasn't that in any of the news leaks and in the story leaks and in the advertising and in the promotion of the movie? Oh, Disney for some reason decided that wasn't important. Gee, I wonder why. Because they knew that if the recast T'Challa fan base knew that the whole point of this movie was to literally make it so that Shuri was going to be the Black Panther, the recast T'Challa fan base would have probably burnt down the Marvel Studios. God knows what they would have done. I mean, they had their suspicions and they had their theories, but it wasn't actually verified. It wasn't official. Well, you want to know why? Because Disney knew that if they actually established that as the official storyline, the recast T'Challa fan base would have been justifiably even more pissed than they already are now. Anyway, we have Shuri. There's so much about Shuri. Shuri becomes the Black Panther because she decides to be the Black Panther. She chooses to. She goes, I'll wear the Black Panther suit because I want to, so I'm going to be the Black Panther. Hundreds of years of tradition based around how and why somebody gets to become the Black Panther, gone. This movie goes, screw it. We can't abide by the actual lore and history of how and the tradition of how and why somebody gets to become the Black Panther, because if we abide by that, there's no goddamn way we're gonna have Shuri get to be the Black Panther by those rules. So what does the movie do? Go, screw the rules. We gotta change them. We gotta get rid of them. Here's the other thing. Now, I don't know if the proper word is lore or the mythology or the culture or the tradition, but one of the aspects in regards about Wakanda is that the media, again, I don't know very much about the Black Panther lore, so I apologize. Because the meteorite with vibranium landed on Wakanda and their entire culture is based around Wakanda, it's part of their lore, it's part of their mythology. They have it that there is vibranium outside of Wakanda. This literally floors the Wakandans or those who were, told about it. It floors them because they go, but I can't remember exactly. I apologize, but I think it's Okoye that goes, I remember the stories. This is part of our culture. This is part of who we are, and this is part of what all of it. The movie's going, yeah, we don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. We need it that there's vibranium outside, and if that means shitting all over the established culture and lore of Wakanda, we don't give a shit. We don't give a shit. Anyway, we have Shuri. Now, I don't like Shuri. I don't like Shuri. I never liked her in the Black Panther movie. And I'm watching it and I'm going, because here's the other thing. Calling the movie Black Panther Wakanda Forever is a bait and switch. It's a bullshit title. It's a bullshit title. The title of this movie should have been Shuri the Black Panther. Because it never occurred to me that they would make Shuri the Black Panther. Okay, like I said, I'm all over the place. When it was established that Shuri was the one wearing the Black Panther suit, I assumed that it was just going to be her wearing the suit because the situation dictated it. In other words, Namor and the non-Atlanteans were attacking Wakanda. They took out Wakanda. They took out the most technologically advanced country in the world with water. Not huge floods, not huge tsunamis, just water. Most technologically advanced city in the world. And the non-Atlanteans have basically 16th century, technology. They're still living with I believe it's I can't remember exactly. I think it was 16th century tech. A group of individuals, non-Atlanteans with 16th century technology, basically spears made out of vibranium. How the hell they were able to forge vibranium? No goddamn clue. But then again, why the hell should that matter? There's no goddamn way they should have been able to forge vibranium with 16th century tech underwater. But who cares? Wakanda was taken out by a group of non-Atlanteans with 16th century tech and water. They killed their big weapon. I wish I was saying this with irony. Their biggest weapon is the equivalent of a water balloon. It's a water balloon. When Namor is smashing takes the spear and smashes the window because Queen, oh shoot, how do I pronounce her name again? Queen Ramonda. I hope I said that right. When Namor is at Queen Ramonda and she, and he smashes he takes his vibranium spear. He takes his vibranium spear, smashes the glass, and all he gets is a crack. How does he take out the defenses that can stop a vibranium spear? He throws he throws a modified water balloon because it's there. How does it have explosives? How do they have the tech and the knowledge and the ability to have explosives? No goddamn clue. But all it does is he throws it and it explodes and there's a lot of water and Queen Ramonda drowns. Namor took out the defenses of the not castle, obviously, of the building with a modified water balloon. I just Queen Ramonda. The irony of Queen Ramonda, Ramonda. Again, I apologize if I'm butchering the name. She's got a bug up her ass, justifiably, because her daughter was kidnapped. Queen Ramonda, she... The only scene, again, I'm all over the place. I apologize. The only scene in this movie that actually got me interested, that actually got me off my seat, was because Okoye is my favorite character in the Black Panther movie. If you were to ask me to rate my favorite characters from the Black Panther movie, it would be Okoye, T'Challa, and Killmonger and Claw tied for third. I like Okoye. Because, in a nutshell, just to be brief, the T'Challa that was in the Black Panther movie was not the same T'Challa in Civil War. There were two different type of characters. It's a whole big thing. I could do another video explaining it, but I'm not going to do it here. But Okoye, okay, there's a scene in this movie where I'm looking at the movie and I'm going, who are you and what have you done with the real Okoye? Because it's the scene where Okoye, Shuri are going to grab Riri Williams. Riri Williams. I'm just okay. Because you have Shuri, you have Okoye, who suddenly gives a rat's ass about her makeup. And I'm going, what? Who are you? And where's the real Okoye? Riri goes something about your ashy head. And apparently Okoye is now self-conscious about her looks. Really, Okoye is suddenly self-conscious about her looks because somebody needs to rewatch the Black Panther movie because I'm going, whatever. Anyway. But Riri Williams, I'm just... whatever. Because Namor ended up kidnapping Shuri, the queen, she fired Shuri. And when she basically stripped her of her position, that was the only time in the movie I went, What are you doing? Like, that was the best, for me, that was the biggest scene in the movie. That was not the best scene, but that was the biggest scene in the movie. Anyway, back to Queen Ramonda. Queen Ramonda is understandably upset that her daughter is kidnapped. The irony is, she's mad, she's upset that her daughter was kidnapped while she's kidnapped somebody else's daughter. How does that work? It was kind of hard to sympathize with Queen Ramonda, with her frustration and her anger and her fear that her daughter was kidnapped, when she did the exact same thing, and apparently it's okay when she does it. And then when she used that as an excuse or a justification to fire Okoye, I'm like, what? You're firing her. You're firing the same woman that kidnapped somebody else's daughter for you. But it was I got pissed when Queen Ramonda fired Shuri for what was just an unfair situation. And not only that, why would Queen Ramonda think that Shuri was dead? So they kidnapped Shuri to eventually kill her. If they wanted to kill Shuri, they would have killed her then and there. So the fact that they killed her, the fact that they kidnapped her, pretty much establishes that she's most likely alive. Now, for the most part, Queen Ramonda was fine, and for the most part, Okoye was fine. It was just those little parts that just kind of pissed me off, and I had to vent. Let's get back to Shuri. Now, The biggest problem with this movie is that the whole point of this movie was to make Shuri be the next Black Panther. So this movie was all about Shuri. Shuri was the focus. Why it was called Wakanda, like I said, why it was called Wakanda Forever, I have no idea. This movie should have been titled Shuri the Black Panther. Here's the problem. I don't like Shuri. I don't give a damn about Shuri. So I don't care. I don't want a Black Panther movie where Shuri is the Black Panther. But the whole movie is about Shuri to be the Black Panther. So I'm going, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about... this entire movie was irrelevant to me. I'm not saying that it's a problem that is universal or a stupid of the movie, but it's just like, I'm watching this movie and I'm going, I don't care about Shuri. So why would I care about Shuri's story and her arc? Sure, okay. Again with the suit, with the suit. When it was established that Shuri was going to wear the suit, was going to be the one wearing the suit, I assumed it was going to be a 10-minute scene out of desperation. In other words, Namor and the non-Atlanteans were attacking Wakanda, and Shuri, in a desperate move, was going to just put on the Black Panther suit and fight and hope for the best. Which is why in the trailer she's kind of like all over the place. She didn't. With what little I saw, she didn't look like she was very coordinated. She was just kind of jumping and going all over the place, just going wild. So I figured in the movie, she was just going to have the Black Panther suit for like maybe 10 minutes of screen time, and then and that was going to be her only connection to the actual suit. The fact that they decided to make her, again, it never occurred to me that they would actually go the route of making Shuri be the next Black Panther. I figured the movie was going to be the story of Wakanda versus the non-Atlanteans and Namor. That's what I thought the story was going to be about. It wasn't. The whole plot of this movie is because Riri Williams did a science project because her teacher said she couldn't do it. The entire plot of this movie exists. The catalyst for the plot of this movie is because Riri Williams built a vibranium detector. The vibranium detector. This kills me. Okay. How did she do this? Because for her to be able to know that her vibranium detector works, she would need, vibranium to be able to know that her vibranium detector can actually detect vibranium to actually know it works. Well, if that's the case, she would need vibranium. Well, then how the hell did Riri Williams get her hands on any vibranium to be able to know that her vibranium detector can, actually detect vibranium? And then, if that wasn't bad enough, what was it? The CIA or whoever, they stole her vibranium detector. Apparently, Riri Williams didn't just build a vibranium detector. She built a vibranium detector that was built and designed to work underwater. Under the high pressure of the ocean. Because she goes, why not? It's just... There's no way she could have known that her vibranium detector would work unless she had vibranium. And then there's no way she would have vibranium to be able to know her vibranium detector works. Second of all, she built it specifically. She built it so that it could somehow survive the ocean depths, because it just, I hate this movie. I hate this movie so much. Anyway, here's the whole point of this movie. Namor, because a vibranium detection machine exists, he wants the scientist that created it and goes to Shuri, either ally with us or we're going to take you out. How does that work, Namor? How does that work, movie? Why would Wakanda not allying with you have anything to do with you wanting to retaliate? Because Namor now wants to retaliate against the surface world because Riri built the vibranium detector. That's the reason he wants to say, because he goes, that's a sign. The fact that Riri Williams, a unique genius, ended up building a vibranium detector, that's now a sign for the non-Atlanteans to attack the surface world, which they never bothered doing because they're too busy attacking Wakanda. Whatever. Oh God. The end of the movie, there's a fight scene. As stupid as this movie is, the most pathetically blatant, in your face, bullshit, stupid, we don't give a damn scene is Shuri is fighting Namor at the end of the movie. Namor impales her, takes the vibranium spear, impales her, goes right through her. And I'm going, that's weird. Why would you kill Shuri? What was I thinking? Shuri is impaled. She's dead. She's dead. She's dead. What does Shuri do? Smashes the shaft, pulls herself out. Shuri, I don't care that she has the herb. Because if you had gutted, if you had impaled T'Challa, who was a bigger, stronger, more fit, muscular guy, and he had had a vibranium spear impaled through him, guess what? He wouldn't be just able to just walk out of the shaft and still fight. And still, she should be dead. She should have been dead. No, it's just a flesh wound. It's just a flesh wound. This is the movie's justification for why an impaled Shuri or an impaled Black Panther. I'm not even gonna call it a Black Panther. The movie's justification for how an impaled Shuri was able to beat Namor was because she had previously. They discovered Namor's weakness. Dehydrate him. Just dehydrate him. So she captures Namor in the ship and is putting on the machine, and Namor is being dehydrated. Oh no, what's Namor to do? Oh, I don't know. Namor takes his spear and starts smashing the equipment. And Shuri's like, what? Apparently, it never occurred to Shuri that Namor might actually try to destroy the equipment that's dehydrating him. Like, strategic planner that she is. Anyway, okay, so follow me on this. So Namor's on the ship. He's being dehydrated, but he's still able to take on Shuri. He's not showing any signs of weakness or being dehydrated or being at any sub-level of fighting ability. So he's in the ship, being dehydrated. He's still able to kick Shuri's ass. They land on the beach. They end up crashing and landing on the beach. Namor is still able to kick Shuri's ass, not showing any sign of weakness, not showing any ill effects of being dehydrated. He then impales Shuri. After he impales Shuri, suddenly, out of nowhere, Namor is dehydrated and weak and needs to get to the ocean. He's suddenly weak. Because how else are they going to justify an impaled Shuri suddenly being able to take on Namor, who apparently during this entire time had no problem with dehydration, but just suddenly becomes affected by the dehydration right after he impales, Shuri. But here's the kicker. So she ends up fighting him again, and she does something, and she causes this explosion of fire, which ends up, weakening because he's all burnt and stuff, and then Namor falls down. And I'm going, hey, Shuri, why didn't you lead with that? If you had that, if you knew you could do that, why didn't you lead with that? Why did you wait until, I don't know, after you got killed, but not really, to decide to use this? On the ship, this, I don't know if this was editing or if it was just some stupid mistake. Near the end of the movie, they're on they lure a trap for Namor and the Atlanteans, and there's this big, huge ship, and there's a whole bunch of Wakandan warriors on the ship, and you see the non-Atlanteans, coming up and attacking them. Here's the thing. One of the non-Atlanteans' secret weapons is this sonic attack or whatever that I don't know how or why, but just hearing it somehow makes you want to jump into the water. I don't know how these non-Atlanteans were able to figure this out, since they've never really had experience with the surface world, and I don't know, like, what did they... how did they get this power? I have no idea. How do they know this power works? How did they test it? Whatever. The point is they have that secret weapon. In the end of the movie, with that big fight scene, when the non-Atlanteans are climbing up the side of the ship, I'm going, well, why don't you just have some of your non-Atlanteans just do the sonic attack and have all of them jump off the ship? Well, then you can't have the fight scene. And not only that, there's this, not only that, it's the 20 or 30 Wakandans, right? And they're being surrounded by the non-Atlanteans pointing their ship. There's an actual scene where Riri, in her suit, is pointing her weapons, and she's like pointing her weapons. I'm going, fire your goddamn weapon! What? Why are you holding your weapon out like a threat? You have, it's basically Iron Man, and then it's a cheap Iron Man knockoff suit where she's got these weapons and is just going, yeah, stay back, and they're like literally advancing with the spirits, and it's like, use your weapons, shoot them. Why are you just threatening and warning them? I just. Oh, and we get Namor ends up narrating his origin story. And as I'm watching Namor narrate his origin story, in my head I'm going, why are you telling Shuri this? Like, why are you sharing your origin story? I'm not going to get into the political quagmire about his origin story because I don't give a rat's ass. I don't care. Anyway, I'm listening. Why are you telling Shuri your origin story? And after he finishes his story, Shuri actually goes, "Why are you telling me this?" And I'm going, "That's a good question, Shuri. Out of curiosity, Namor, why are you telling Shuri this?" Namor tells Shuri his origin story so that she can understand why he wants to capture the scientist. And it's like, hey, Namor, telling us your origin story had absolutely no connection or explanation on why you wanted to capture Riri Williams. It's just that they wanted to have Namor narrate his origin story so that we could know Namor's origin story. It's just. As for Namor himself, I really didn't care. I didn't care about him because he wasn't Namor. He was just a character the MCU created and just gave the name of a Marvel comic book character. Something the MCU has done already multiple times. They did it with Ego, they did it with Taskmaster, they did it with Drax, they did it with Mantis, they did it with Scarlet Witch. Yes, they did it with Scarlet Witch, but it's not like any of you guys know or care anyway, so what difference does it make? So it wasn't Namor. It was just some character that they created and just gave him the name Namor. So I really had no interest or association with the character. And then the whole thing about him having an Aztec or Mayan origin wasn't even relevant. It wasn't even pertinent. It didn't even apply to the character. It didn't apply to the story. So the fact that they even made him of Mayan origin served no purpose anyway. I'm sure there's other issues. I'm sure a lot of you would have issues with the character, but that's my overall issue with the character. I just don't care. He's not Namor, and there's no value to him. Then we have Riri Williams, which is weird because Riri Williams, the reason she was in the movie was to be the plot device. She's basically like American Chavez. American Chavez was in the Multiverse of Madness simply to be the plot device that is the catalyst to the plot. That's what Riri Williams was in this movie. She existed, so Riri Williams was in this movie so that she could create the vibranium detector and she could be the scientist that was kidnapped. That's it. Her as Ironheart didn't really serve any purpose anyway. Like she was there, but just an annoying. She was as annoying as what was her name? Kate Bishop, I think. The chick that wants to be the new Hawkeye. It's just another annoying teenage girl female character. That's all she was. She thought she was sassy, thought she was whatever, but they were just a waste of a character, waste of time. I'm sure there's other stuff that I missed, but I'm good now. I got it out of my system. I'm good now. I don't care anymore. I dwelled on this movie long enough. And again, this is all from memory. I didn't really write any notes. So, again, I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that I missed, but I don't care enough anymore. I will say this, though. Despite a video I made, I'm definitely now in the recast T'Challa camp. Just not for the same reasons. Because after seeing this movie, Yeah, give me T'Challa again. Give me T'Challa because there's no way I'm gonna be able to. I can't handle Shuri as Black Panther. I can't. I can't. It's ridiculous. So yeah, recast T'Challa, basically so that I don't have to. So that Shuri can get the hell out of the damn suit. Uh, is there anything else? Yeah, no, I can't think of anything. Like I said, I'm sure there's other stuff, but I'm just basically going off memory, and I'm done. I don't care. After this, I get to forget about the movie and not worry about it anymore. So, but for those of you, if there's anything I would leave you guys with, if you are gonna go see the movie, be forewarned. It is literally a Shuri is the Black Panther movie. It's all about Shuri. It's all about her becoming the Black Panther. And if you're okay with that, then this movie will be for you. But I just can't handle Shuri as a character myself. So it was a disappointment and a letdown and a perfectly wasted time. Anyway, that's it for me. I'm out of here. See ya.